Season's greetings, everyone! I'm Hewy Toonmore. Welcome to Hewy's Animated Movie Reviews, the show where I review animated films from old to recent, whether they be hand-drawn, stop-motion, or computer-generated. Well, it's cold outside, trees are decorated in your living room, presents are wrapped, and stockings are hung by the fireplace, which can only mean one thing. Christmas time has come again! And while I'm not as overly enthusiastic about the holiday as some other people I know... Jesus. Anyway, I still love it as it is my absolute favorite time of the year. So, what Christmas movie am I going to review this year? Well, let's go back in time to when I was a kid back in the 90s. On Christmas morning, 1997, I received 3 animated Christmas films. Ones I would watch over and over again even after the holiday had come to an end. Although, looking back on them today, 2 of those movies aren't really as good as I once thought they were. Heck, you could even call them bad. Of course, the 2 movies I'm talking about are Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer the movie and An All Dogs Christmas Carol, but those are for another year. Now, what about the 3rd movie I received? Does it still hold up after all these years? Well, let's find out, shall we? Released on October 21st, 1997, the movie is Annabelle's Wish. The movie begins in the town of Two Bridge, Tennessee, many years ago, with a narrator played by country singer and songwriter Randy Travis as he tells of how Christmas Eve is a night of wishes.
And this Christmas Eve would be no exception. It was special even for Santa. Because that night, on a small farm in Tennessee, a calf was born, and a legend began.
Kind of exaggerating there, don't you think, Randy?
Anyway, the calf in question is Annabelle, the titular star of our story. She is born on a farm owned by a little boy named Billy and his grandfather Charles Baker, played by Jerry Van Dyke. He drives Billy and his friend Emily during the night singing Christmas carols, but then have trouble after their car shorts out. They stop at a nearby neighbor's farm where 2 bullies, Bucky and Buster, taunt Billy because of his inability to speak. Surprisingly, Grandpa tries to calm them down by asking them to go caroling with them, but their father, Gus Holder, stops him and tells them to leave.
My boys ain't going nowhere.
Well, evening, Gus. Merry Christmas.
You know we don't go in for that around here.
And yes, Gus is voiced by the late Jim Varney, most famous for portraying characters such as Ernest P. Worrell and Slinky Dog from the first 2 Toy Story movies.
And yes, it is a shame that he passed away years later. He will certainly be missed, but let's move on.
The story as to why Billy isn't able to speak is actually a pretty tragic one. A few years prior, there was a great fire out in the family barn, and while Billy and all the animals survived, it sadly damaged his vocal cords and his parents were killed. The doctor who treated Billy said they may never talk again, and a music box belonging to his daughter brings back sad memories to Grandpa here, especially when he plays it. Meanwhile, out in the city, Billy's wealthy Aunt Agnes, voiced by Cloris Leachman.
You know, that always seems to happen when I mention her name.
Is preparing for Christmas in her own special way. But although she has everything to make the condo she lives in look perfect for the occasion, the only thing she's missing is someone to share it with. In her case, a child. Billy, to be more precise. Why? Well, later on in the film, she says that she's always wanted a child to complete her Christmas. However, when she meets with her lawyer, voiced by Clancy Brown, he tells her that she gave up all rights to him.
So she just now wants him? She certainly knows her priorities are in check.
If I have to spend one more Christmas without you, Billy, I get what I want.
Meanwhile, back at the barn, the animals gather outside to see Santa Claus as he brings them a yearly gift to them, the gift of speech.
Now this is actually based on an old Christmas legend, only in the original version it was God who gave the gift of speech to the animals as opposed to Santa Claus. Though this does bring up a plot hole later on, but I'll talk about that once we get there.
Let the talking begin. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Santa!
So now that the animals can talk, let's talk about them and their voice actors. There's Ears the dog, voiced by Jay Johnson.
Ears, old buddy, what's the scoop?
You have asked the right person about what the scoop is, because I know what the scoop is, and the scoop is this. What was the question?
Slim the Pig, voiced by Jerry Hauser.
Say, what's that on your lip, Slim?
Huh? Oh, yeah, well,
You ate my lunch, didn't you?
I can't help it. I get so hungry. I'm a pig.
Oliver the Owl, voiced by Steve McCall, better known for voicing Nosedive from Disney's Mighty Ducks animated series.
I just can't seem to get this whole flying thing done.
That's because flying is up.
Scarlet the Horse, voiced by Rue McClanahan, well known for playing Blanche in The Golden Girls.
Miss Scarlet, looking lovely as ever, I see.
You really think so? I bet you're just saying that. I'm not as young as I used to be, you know.
Brewster the Rooster, voiced by on-again, off-again Disney announcer Brian Cummings.
Good morning, Barnyard!
Robin Williams, you are not my friend.
Annabelle's mother Star, voiced by Jennifer Darling, who has done a lot of miscellaneous voice work for numerous Disney projects, and even did the voice of Irma from the original Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Santa, I've got the best Christmas present ever.
Yes, I'd say you do, Star.
And finally, Annabelle herself was voiced by none other than one of my all-time favorite voice actors, Kath Soucie.
Mom, who is that?
I'm Santa Claus. Let's see now. Ah, you must be Annabelle. And right on schedule, too.
Oh, I almost forgot. Santa Claus is voiced by K.E. Cooter, most recognized for his role as Farmer Nuke Kiley on Green Acres and Petticoat Junction. Anyway, Annabelle then notices Santa's reindeer and asks about them. He tells her that they help drive his sleigh by, of course, flying in the sky. Santa then leaves to deliver presents at Billy's house, but not before wrapping a red bow around Annabelle's neck as a gift.
There. You're as pretty as a present. Well, I've got to go. Lots of youngsters depending on me. Enjoy the talking now, but remember, it's our secret.
And here's where that little plot hole I mentioned earlier comes up. Why is the talking a secret?
What is the point of making the animals talk if they're not allowed to talk to anyone else? It can't be so they could only talk to each other, because they sort of already do that in their own animal language. Santa gave them the ability to speak like we humans do, but wants them to keep it a secret even though it only lasts one day. It's not like it would matter, since it wouldn't even affect anyone who notices after the next day.
Let's just move on before my brain hurts from this confusing plot point.
This time of year, in the cold of old December, songs of the past help us to remember. If you believe in the song inside you, you'll find the voice to sing.
Well, as much as this song is good, there are a few problems with it. For one, the singer doesn't sound much like Santa. His voice is a little gruff in comparison to the actor.
They're my magic reindeer. They help me fly.
Then you can start to be completely free.
If anything, the rendition played during the end credits is better to listen to, but I'll wait until after review's done to show you that.
Anyway, after watching Santa fly off into the night with his reindeer, an idea pops into Annabelle's mind.
I want to fly, too.
Well, sweetie, you'll have to talk to Santa about that.
Wow, Star, you're sure taking this well, but then again, if Santa can give the animals the ability to talk, I'm sure he has the ability to give out any gift.
So Star tells Annabelle that if she's really good, she can ask Santa to fly next Christmas. The next morning, Aunt Agnes arrives at the farm bearing gifts for Billy and his grandpa, but mostly for Billy.
Tell me all about yourself. Oh, that's right, you don't. Oh, well, how are you doing in school?
They bleached your hair, they must have bleached your brains, too.
However, none of the gifts Agnes brought seemed to interest him in the slightest, but a certain gift left on the Christmas tree catches his attention as it tells him to look outside for his gift, which turns out to be Annabelle.
You gave him a cow for Christmas?
Nope, it was Santa Claus.
You're teaching the boy to believe in that fantasy?
Oh, he's real all right, Agnes. Just last year, my neighbor, Grandma Spankenheimer, got run over by one of his reindeer. Any proof? It was on National Geographic last night. Vehicular manslaughter, the dangers of reindeer nip.
Billy followed Annabelle right into the barn without even thinking about it. But when he saw where he was scared to death.
Bless you. Well, all I said was bless you.
So yeah, Billy is surprised that Annabelle and the other animals can talk. But before anything can be done, Grandpa and Agnes come in to see if he's alright. Of course, Agnes complains about the state of the barn, and then she gets a bitter taste of karma.
You. Oh! Caca!
Hey, just be glad this is the only poop joke in the movie. I know I am.
So Grandpa takes Agnes inside to get her shoes cleaned up, while the animals are concerned about Billy knowing about their ability to speak. Which again shouldn't matter since it only lasts for 1 day.
Hold it down just a doggone minute now. Now, it's true that we're not supposed to talk in front of humans. But I guarantee it'll be okay if it doesn't go any further.
Yeah, he won't say anything. Will ya, Billy? You won't, will you?
Annabelle, honey, dear, you see, Billy can't talk.
Oh, I'm a dick. Meanwhile, Agnes and Grandpa talk about Billy as Agnes wants to take him to the sea with her, but Grandpa objects to the idea.
Why now, Agnes? You had your chance and you didn't want him.
I changed my mind. I'll make the perfect mother. William will be much better off with me in the city.
The answer is no. No. N-O. You're not getting Billy.
We'll see about that. You've not heard the last from me? I have lawyers, you know.
I don't want to hear from her the first time. Wouldn't hear the last from me. I never liked her to begin with. But that's just my opinion.
You know, if we're wanting to keep the whole talking thing a secret, you sure do a poor job doing it.
Meanwhile, outside, Annabelle tells Billy of her wish to fly.
Santa's got these cows with those things on their heads. I think that he called them reindeers. You know they can fly. I'm gonna learn to fly too. I'm gonna ask Santa next time I see him. That's gonna be my wish.
Okay, I've got to admit, that is pretty adorable.
What you doing, Billy? Want to see what I got for Christmas? Wow, where'd you get the cap? She's so cute. Oh, I get it. You're pretending she's a reindeer, huh?
Jeez, Ears, kinda getting a bit threatening with that gesture, aren't ya?
You squeal your veil.
I've got the sled. Sleigh. Want to be an elf, Billy? I've decided I want to be the elf, so you have to be Santa Claus. I hope that's okay with you.
Emily always knew what Billy wanted. Sometimes I'd swear she knew it before he did. With his new friend Annabelle, this would be a Christmas Billy would never forget.
However, Annabelle loses control of the sled and they slide off a hill and crash through the fence of Gus Holder's farm. Gus tells Billy to leave, but thinks about how his grandpa would be able to pay for the damages. Later that night, Annabelle asks her mother why Billy isn't able to talk. She tells him about the fire that occurred in the barn a while back, which caused Billy to lose his voice.
I'll talk for both of us then.
That would be nice, honey, but our day of talking is almost over.
You mean we don't always get to talk?
Well, sugar, nothing lasts forever.
That's what they said about shows like The Simpsons or South Park. Or Family Guy.
As Annabelle goes to sleep, she dreams about her wish to fly as we get our next song, The World from Way Up Here, performed by Alison Krauss.
Wish I may, on my face.
it's not. Let me feel, let me see the world from where you are.
And I have to admit, this is a pretty good song, and the visuals of Annabelle flying through the clouds is just so darn cute. As for Alison Krauss's singing, she certainly makes it more interesting to watch and listen to, since she is a great singer.
And besides, anyone whose songs were featured in Buffy the Vampire Slayer is okay in my book.
The next day, Annabelle and the rest of the barn animals have lost their gift of speech, leaving Billy to wonder if what happened on Christmas was all just a dream. However, things don't go well as Gus Holder and the sheriff, also voiced by Clancy Brown, come by the farm to tell Billy's grandpa about the damage Annabelle did to the fence.
Well, Gus, I'm right sorry about that. I'll pay for the damages. You know I'm good for it.
Don't give me that, Charlie. You and I both know you don't have the money.
But, Gus,
That's why I'm not asking for money. I'll just take that young cow of yours instead.
Wait, he can't do that.
Heck, Charlie, I'm doing you a favor. Don't know how you could afford to feed her anyway.
Although the sheriff tells Grandpa that if he's able to raise enough money in 24 hours, he and Billy can keep Annabelle. Later during the night, Grandpa takes one last time to listen to his music box, a personal belonging from his late daughter and the last thing that reminds him of her. And on the following morning, he tells the sheriff that he plans on selling his daughter's music box to have enough money to bring back Annabelle, with the sheriff promising that he would help him out with it.
So, Grandpa did what he had to do. He sold the music box, and he got Annabelle back.
Well, that was over pretty quick, wasn't it?
There could have been more to delve into between Billy's sadness that Annabelle was taken away to even Animal's tough night at the Holders' farm. There could have been more to be seen, making it a bit more emotional, but they just skip over it like it was nothing. The only emotional moment that we see is how Grandpa tries to find a way to earn enough money to get Annabelle back.
I'm not saying that was bad, it just could have been done better. But hey, 53-minute running time, what are you gonna do?
So as winter ends and spring begins, we then get our third song, Friends Like Us, or Seasons, performed by Randy Travis and Beth Nielsen Chapman. It's basically just a quick way to show a transition from one year to the next, but I think it's actually done pretty well as we see Billy, Annabelle, and even Emily's friendship growing stronger and stronger as time goes by.
Seasons come and seasons go, and the world keeps rolling round. You got me and I've got you, and that's the sweetest thing we've found.
And this is also the song that made me a fan of Randy Travis. Well, this and Simple Things from Hey Arnold.
After the song sequence, we cut to the following winter season as Billy and Emily come home from school and meet up with Annabelle, but are stopped by Bucky and Buster, who of course act like dicks to them.
How come you only hang out with girls and cows? Huh, Billy? How come? Why don't you leave him alone?
Why don't you let Billy stick up for himself? Oh, I forgot. He can't talk.
You're just jealous because you don't have any friends. Stay out of this, Emily.
Ha! Serves you right, you little assholes!
However, the boys lie to their dad about what happened as he invites the sheriff over to do something about it.
Now, this may seem like they're going to repeat the whole deal of taking Annabelle away again, but just keep watching.
My boys don't lie.
Gus, their story's not exactly how it happened. The bus driver witnessed the whole incident.
Boys, get in your room right now. I'll deal with you later.
What's gotten into you, Gus? You become a miserable old Scrooge, and it shows in the way you're bringing up those two boys. Did you ever wonder where Charlie got the money to pay for Annabelle? Well, I'll tell you. That music box his daughter loved so much, sold it to an antique dealer in town. Sad. Lots of memories were in that box. It's still there, Gus. And you, of all people, should know what it's like to lose a loved one.
So judging by that bit of dialogue, we are to assume that the reason Gus is such a curmudgeon is because he had lost his wife and had to raise his two boys all on his own.
So yeah, I actually feel kind of sorry for Gus.
He seems like he has a lot of issues for being a single parent raising two kids. But the problem with this scene is that it's too rushed to let us feel for him. It doesn't give us time to get an understanding of him and his struggles.
But since he's voiced by Jim Varney, I suppose I could give it a little bit of credit for trying.
And speaking of antagonists, Aunt Agnes returns to the farm on Christmas Eve, telling Grandpa that the courts deemed the farm an unsuitable place to raise Billy, and due to a loophole, she is now his legal guardian until such time as he is able to speak again.
And there's not much chance of that happening, is there?
What a bitch! Been a long time since I've used that gag, huh?
Before Agnes could take Billy within 30 minutes, the animals decide to take action by moving her car into the lake. This, of course, infuriates her and tells Grandpa to call for a tow truck. But because it's Christmas Eve, they're closed for the day. But Grandpa tells her that he'll call them tomorrow to see if they'll come by then.
Huh. Here I thought all places were closed on Christmas. Then again, Walmart's still open on Thanksgiving, and even some McDonald's restaurants are even open on Christmas Day. So much for respecting the holidays.
Later that night, when everyone is asleep, Santa arrives at the farm and once again grants the animals the gift of speech. And after a full year of waiting and being really good, Annabelle is finally ready to make her wish.
Oh, that's a pretty big wish. Have you really thought about this?
She's thought of nothing else, Santa, all year long.
Then you're sure this is what you want?
Absolutely. It's what I want.
The next morning, just as Billy's about to leave with Aunt Agnes, he discovers a present for him hidden in the tree. A very special present.
There's nothing in here. Grandpa! I talked.
Billy! You're talking! You're talking!
I heard that.
And because Billy can talk again, Aunt Agnes's guardianship of him is now null and void, meaning he is able to stay at home with his grandpa. Unfortunately, there's a drawback towards his gift.
Annabelle! I can talk! Annabelle? Say something. Whoa. What's wrong with her?
Annabelle's just fine, Billy. You see, she gave her Christmas voice to you. She'll never talk again.
But what about your dream to fly? That was gonna be a wish.
No, Billy. To hear you talk. That was Annabelle's wish.
Oh, Annabelle.
Such a wonderful scene. Giving up something of yours just so you can make someone else happy. That is the true meaning of Christmas. Well played, movie. Well played.
Meanwhile, we see Gus Holder and his two sons come by to apologize for what they had done to Grandpa and Billy and even give him his music box that they sold off last year. And when Aunt Agnes steps out and sees Gus and his boys, it's love at first sight.
Gus Holder, ma'am. You're not leaving, are you?
Well, actually, Charles was just insisting that I stay for Christmas dinner. Won't you join us?
Well, that's mighty nice of you, ma'am.
And will Mrs. Holder be joining us?
There is no Mrs. Holder, ma'am.
Really? Oh, what adorable boys.
As usual, Aunt Agnes got what she wanted, and the Holder boys got what they deserved.
Ah, sweet poetic justice. I love it.
As the years pass, it's revealed that the narrator is in fact Billy, who is now all grown up and married to his childhood friend Emily. Even Annabelle has grown up into a fully adult cow, but the two still remember all the good times they had together, even Annabelle's wish to fly.
I wish you could tell her, old gal. If I could see Santa, you know what I'd wish. Remember when we were kids?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Was that a hole in Annabelle's shadow?
It is! There's a hole in Annabelle's shadow!
How the hell did the animators goof that up? Oh well, only one mess up, so let's carry on.
As Billy sleeps in bed that night, he's awoken by the sound of Annabelle mooing. Worried about his friend, he gets up and goes to check up on her, only to discover that she had gotten out of the barn and is now wandering through the forest, possibly knowing that she is not long for this world. All hope seems lost for poor Annabelle, but then Billy sees a sleigh flying in the sky. Yes, Santa has come looking for Annabelle, not forgetting the sacrifice she had made for Billy all those years ago and never asking for anything in return. And after wrapping another red bow around her neck, Santa thinks it's high time she got her reward.
My voice back.
Merry Christmas, Annabelle.
Merry Christmas, Billy.
Are you ready to fly, Annabelle?
Oh, yes.
Then lead the way. Yeah!
Look, Billy. I'm flying.
Merry Christmas, Annabelle. Merry Christmas. Yep. Christmas Eve is a night made for wishes. That's what it is. A night made for believers of all ages.
So that was Annabelle's wish. Does it still hold up after all these years? Well, after watching it again, I can honestly say, yes. Yes, it does.
While the animation isn't exactly perfect, as it can be a bit wonky at times with one or two flubs here and there, it's still pretty decent. And while there are quite a few plot holes in the story, such as the animals not being allowed to talk even after they are given the gift of speech, along with a few rushed plot lines that end rather quickly, it's still a very enjoyable film to watch when the holiday season rolls by. Kat Susie's voice acting is adorably brilliant as always, Randy Travis's narration is good as well as his role as adult Billy, and everyone else involved, from the celebrity voices to even the child actors, did a good job voicing their characters. The songs were well written and sung, especially the songs by Randy Travis and Alison Krauss. But there are two things that surprised me about the film. The first are the writers. There are not one, not two, but 13 writers involved with the making of the film. 13 writers for one TV special. I mean, holy crap, I would expect that amount of writers for a TV series, but not for a Christmas special. That's insane. Then there are the sponsors for the special, Novus Services and American Airlines. Not sure how they were involved in the making of the special, but there they are, listed in the credits. I guess this special is their way of spreading the Christmas cheer, as they are very charitable organizations. Overall, Annabelle's Wish is an underrated gem of a Christmas special that deserves more attention. It may not be as good as other Christmas specials, but it still holds a very special place in my heart and certainly deserves a watch. I give it, since it's Christmas, I'll be generous and give it 4 stars out of 5.
And so, as another review comes to an end, so does another season of Hewy's Anime Movie Reviews. Be sure to join me again in February for Season 8 as I take a month-long break in order to avoid a certain acquaintance of mine. Until then, this is Hewy Toonmore saying, see the movies, anime movies that is, and have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year.
If you believe in the song inside you, you'll find a voice to sing.